Hey everybody, Vince August here. It is Friday, April 23rd, and after a couple of intense videos, I wanted to lighten things up today, and I want to talk to you about spring and plantings and flowers and stuff like that, because here at my house, we just can't get on the same page. I am the type of person, I like plants with a payoff. I don't know if there's some psychological thing about it. I'm sure there's some masculine toxins, whatever the hell it is. I like plants with a payoff. I like tomato plants. I like olive trees. I like sunflower plants. I like planting pumpkin seeds. I like planting watermelon seeds. I like something that at the end, bam, here, I have something to show for it. I love a garden. However, where I live in Bergen County, New Jersey, you can't do that because we have squirrels, we have chipmunks, and we have groundhogs that like my payoff just as much as I like my payoff. In fact, the one year I grew corn, this was far-fetched, didn't look like it was going to happen. Everybody made fun of me. You're not going to get corn. You're not going to get corn. Well, sure enough, after a couple months, I had 8 beautiful stalks of corn in my backyard. And I'm going to say we were about 2 weeks away from getting about 6 ear of corn per stalk because we saw them. They were there. They needed about 2 more weeks to go. Then I came home one day, went in the backyard, and all the stalks that I could see from the back window weren't there anymore. And I went out in the yard, and there were squirrels sitting in my yard, just like rubbing their belly, having devoured every ear of corn. I nearly lost my mind. I went out there, I was going to take a shovel and bash one of these things over the head and turn it into like one of those Jiffy Pop popcorn things. If you're older and you're my age, you know what the hell that is. And just hold him over a fire and turn whatever he ate into popcorn and let the squirrel turn into that big silver thing that we used to have as a kid, Jiffy Pop. That's how much it made me crazy. Even with the tomatoes, what they would do is they would eat half a tomato and then half of another tomato. Look, I'll share the tomatoes with you. You take half, I take half, but don't just start sampling tomatoes. This is not a free sample section here in my garden. So, because all of that, we can't do a garden anymore, and I'm not going to build some elaborate thing with wire and fencing and all of that. Nah, that's too much work. Okay, so what do? We plant certain trees. Now, I didn't realize this, but years ago, we planted a cherry tree, and I thought to myself, wow, I'm surprised I'm being allowed, because you got to get permission, when you're in a relationship to do. I'm being allowed to plant a cherry tree because this is going to be great. We're going to have cherries. And then sure enough, 2 years, no cherries. Thing was flowering like crazy. And finally I said, we got the worst cherry tree in the world. Not one cherry from this cherry tree. And that's when I was told, you stupid idiot. It's not that type of cherry tree. It's a flowering cherry tree. So I'm like, wait a minute. You made me get a cherry tree that doesn't grow cherries? She said, no, what are you, nuts? We'd have every squirrel in the neighborhood here. I'm like, we already have every squirrel in the neighborhood here. They ate the corn. Don't you remember when they had a corn bake in the backyard? But apparently, this cherry tree that we have, gorgeous as it is, no cherry trees. No cherries from this cherry tree. So it's like castrating a cherry tree. It doesn't ever get to grow its cherries. Anyway, so since we can't agree on what flowers I'm allowed to plant, because I got to get permission to plant shit in the house. Basically, what we're going to do this year, patio fire pit. And whenever you see an Italian guy who basically their garden is rocks and cement, that's a guy in a relationship who can't agree with his other on what plants to plant in the yard so they can both have a say over the plants. So sure enough, what do? You plant cement. You plant cement, you put a fire pit, and that's it. All right, I got to take this call. Everybody, have a great weekend.